A small account changes the way you think. Each tick feels like life or death. The tragedy of the small account is not found in the lack of capital. It is found in the weight of it. In the grand, indifferent theater of global finance, a $500 position is a rounding error, a microscopic flicker in a sea of trillions. But for the retail trader sitting in the silence of their own home, that same $500 feels like an existential anchor. When the account is small, every tick of the market ceases to be a mere data point. It becomes a personal judgment on one's worth, a high-stakes interrogation of one's future. The smaller the account, the heavier every trade feels. Small accounts magnify every blip, and when a few dollars move against you, the brain's fear center takes over. Even seasoned traders exhibit intense emotional spikes under volatility. Imagine that multiplied by your entire balance. The tension is suffocating. Research into behavioral finance of retail investors suggests that individuals with limited capital face a unique psychological rock and a hard place. They enter the market with the desperate goal of aggressively multiplying their net worth. Yet, because that capital often represents a non-expendable portion of their liquid savings, money intended for rent, groceries, or security, the brain's evolutionary survival mechanisms view every minor drawdown as a literal threat to their life. By the end of this video, you'll realize a profound truth. A small account is dangerous not because of the money it lacks, but because of what it can psychologically turn a trader into. Under the weight of a tiny account, every trade feels critical, but the primary engine of destruction for the small account is not just fear, it is time urgency. To a trader with $100,000, a 1% gain is $1,000, a meaningful result. But to the trader with $500, that same 1% gain is $5. To the human ego, $5 is not a profit, it is an insult. This creates a profound cognitive distortion. The trader feels they must make it worth their time. This internal pressure forces them to bypass the natural laws of probability and seek out extreme volatility that they are not emotionally equipped to handle. With only a few dollars in the game, there is pressure to be always in play. In psychology, this is often called urgency bias. The brain fears a wasted opportunity. You start taking any setup that looks even remotely interesting, confusing action with success. This is the birth of the desperation loop, a self-reinforcing cycle where the need for money becomes the very reason the money is lost. When a trade goes wrong, this loop accelerates into revenge trading. After a loss, small account traders feel behind and try to fight back immediately. Driven by a cortisol spike and a craving for dopamine, they double the position size immediately after a loss to get back to even instantly. If you ignore the crucial advice to step away, the next bad trade becomes 5, 10, or more. To grow fast, many assume they must bet big, falling into the leverage trap. Brokers entice you with massive leverage, and before you know it, you are risking 20 to 50% of your capital on one trade. This isn't ignorance, it is impatience and social pressure. You see others making quick gains online and feel time is running out. Jack Schwager famously noted, "Amateurs think about how much money they can make. Professionals think about how much money they could lose." For the small account trader, the potential for gain is so vivid, so emotionally charged, that the risk of ruin becomes invisible. In the grip of this loop, the trader is no longer a risk manager. They are a gambler chasing a sure thing to validate their existence. They are not trading the market, they are trading their own desperation. The market does not pay out faster just because you're in a hurry. Impatience is a silent tax that drains the undercapitalized account. When a trader risks 20 or 30% of their account on a single YOLO trade, they have abandoned the realm of finance and entered the realm of suicide. To understand why intelligent people make such devastatingly poor choices with small accounts, we must look at the neuroscience of the mind. The human brain operates on two distinct systems, a concept popularized by Nobel laureate Daniel Kahneman. System 2 is your logical, analytical brain. It is the part of you that builds your trading plan, calculates risk to reward, and understands variance. System 2 is a brilliant risk manager. But System 1 is primitive. It is fast, automatic, emotional, and reactive. It was designed by evolution to help our ancestors survive immediate physical threats without the need for conscious thought. System 1 does not care about your trading plan, it only cares about survival and immediate reward. The problem is that the logical System 2 is metabolically expensive. It requires immense focus and energy to maintain. When you have a small account, the constant anxiety and urgency flood your system with stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. Under this intense financial stress, the prefrontal cortex essentially overheats and shuts off, handing the steering wheel completely to the reactive System 1. Psychologists call this an amygdala hijack. You default to impulses, breaking your own rules because your brain is in survival mode, screaming at you to fix the problem immediately. This internal struggle is further complicated by the neuroscience of dopamine. Dopamine is not just about pleasure, it is about the anticipation of a reward. Because the outcomes of trades are unpredictable, trading follows an intermittent reward schedule, the exact same psychological mechanism that makes slot machines so violently addictive. For a small account trader, the dream of flipping a tiny balance into a massive one creates a massive dopaminergic surge. This surge blinds the trader to risk, acting like a chemical veil over the logical brain. This brings us to the darkest truth about having a small account. The worst thing that can happen to you is not blowing the account. The most dangerous event is making money while breaking your rules. If you overleverage out of frustration and miraculously win, your brain's reward system creates a massive dopamine spike. You have just subconsciously linked irrational, high-risk behavior with financial reward. You have trained your brain that chaos is profitable. You didn't become a better trader, you just reinforced a destructive habit that the market will eventually punish with mathematical certainty. In the vacuum of a small account, reality becomes distorted. You are desperate to make money but terrified of losing the little you have. This paradox is driven by loss aversion, a key component of Kahneman and Tversky's prospect theory. Humans feel the pain of a loss roughly twice as intensely as the joy of an equivalent gain. When a trade goes against a small account trader, panic sets in. A $50 loss on a $500 account isn't just money, it feels like a catastrophic failure. So what do? They hold on to the losing trade. They freeze, hoping and praying it turns around because closing the trade forces them to accept the agonizing psychological pain of a realized loss. Conversely, when a trade goes slightly into profit, the fear of the market taking it back becomes unbearable. They cut their winners early, securing a tiny, meaningless profit just to feel the relief of safety. They hold losers out of hope and they cut winners out of fear. This is the exact mathematical inverse of a profitable trading strategy. Small account traders become violently risk-averse when they have a small profit and dangerously risk-seeking when they are staring at a loss. They will risk their entire account just to prove they were right. They are fighting a biological war against their evolution. As the legendary trader Jesse Livermore once noted, markets are never wrong, opinions often are. For the undercapitalized trader, their most dangerous opinion is the belief that the small size of their account somehow justifies their complete lack of discipline. The damage of a small account is rarely just financial, it is structural. Chronic pressure from a small account doesn't just cost money, it slowly rewires how you play the game. By the time many traders finally acquire a large account, perhaps through a prop firm or a sudden windfall, they have already spent months or years training themselves to be fundamentally dysfunctional. They have unknowingly built neural superhighways for bad habits. The relentless stress of never-ending importance drains mental energy. Decision fatigue kicks in day after day, and many small account traders eventually freeze up or take impulsive trades because the brain's prefrontal cortex simply cannot keep up with the emotional load. When every trade is maximum stress, trading becomes exhausting, not exciting. To cope, your brain begins to crave the dopamine loop of the market. What started as a rational strategy becomes an obsession with stimulus. You check charts compulsively, feel restless away from the screen, and force trades just to feel something. In extreme cases, trading feels like a drug rush, eroding your patience to the point where every idle moment off the charts feels like withdrawal. Perhaps most dangerously, a small account trains you badly. It teaches you that trading must be fast and exciting, that risk must be high to win big, and that staying calm is for robots. It trains you to equate feeling with analysis. But true professional trading is often boring, slow, and repetitive. This brings us to the ultimate trap. The most dangerous thing that can happen is making money while breaking your rules. This toxic winning creates a psychological phantom that will haunt you when the stakes are higher. If you risk 20% of your account and win, your brain records that reckless gamble as a successful strategy. But when you finally have $100,000 and you try to risk $20,000 on a single trade, the emotional load becomes so immense that your prefrontal cortex will shatter. Turning a small account into a large one without addressing these habits often just amplifies the eventual crash. You haven't evolved, you have just scaled up your dysfunction. Small accounts train you to chase money. Large accounts require you to protect it. As legendary trader Marty Schwartz famously said, "The hard part isn't making money, it's not losing money." If you haven't learned to protect $500, you will never be able to protect $500,000. The solution to the small account struggle is not a better technical indicator or a faster strategy. It is a total identity shift. It's not about willpower or positivity. It's about rewiring your environment and mindset so your emotional brain has no choice but to slow down. You must stop seeing yourself as a trader seeking a profit and start seeing yourself as a risk manager seeking consistency. You must realize that your job is not to predict the future. Your job is to execute a process with such mechanical precision that your emotions no longer have a vote in the outcome. First, you must prioritize emotional survival. Instead of asking how fast can I double my money, ask how can I trade today without hurting myself emotionally. This may mean deliberately trading less or even sitting out. You must accept your account size and stop fighting it. Let go of unrealistic growth expectations. If risking 2% yields only $5, that is fine. Progress is progress. Think of your account as tuition for discipline. Build slowly because your brain needs to see consistency, not fireworks. Second, you must completely detach your ego from your profit and loss. Every trade is not a referendum on your worth. Develop self-talk that separates you from the outcome, reminding yourself that a trade taken with a good plan is not a personal verdict. Warren Buffett famously said, "Risk comes from not knowing what you are doing." In trading, knowing what you are doing means knowing exactly how much you are willing to lose before you ever enter the trade. Limit position sizes religiously to 1 or 2% per trade. Embrace this perspective. What's the worst that can happen if you lose this trade? If your mental answer isn't totally fine, you must reduce your risk. Professional traders do not think in dollars, they think in units of risk. Finally, to overcome the amygdala hijack, you must emphasize process over profits and build emotional consistency. You must have a physical ritual that interrupts the emotional loop. Some traders use the 24-hour rule. If you feel any intense emotion about a potential trade, wait 24 hours before acting. Acknowledge the urge to revenge trade out loud. This simple act of labeling pulls activity away from the emotional amygdala and back to the logical prefrontal cortex. Stand up, leave the room, or practice breathing exercises to manually reset your autonomic nervous system and break the cognitive tunnel vision. Instead of flashy strategies, focus on repeating 1 or 2 setups flawlessly. Reward yourself for sticking to rules. When your account does grow, the freedom will feel earned rather than a fluke. Recognize that every forced click on the buy or sell button was a message your brain sent. Slow down or your money is irrelevant. Honor that message. Trading is often portrayed as glamorous, fast money, but reality is vastly different. A small account is not a gold mine. It is a training ground. It is the place where you prove to yourself and eventually to the market that you can be trusted with more. The stress of one bad move and I'm done can coerce even smart traders into subconscious sabotage. For a trader with $500, loss aversion warps every decision. But if you cannot manage $500 with the discipline of a professional, you will never be able to manage 500,000. The market will eventually give you exactly what your discipline deserves. The truly successful trader learns to keep their mind intact above all else. In your journey, you must prioritize your emotional survival, process, discipline, consistency. The charts will always move, and your emotions, under a small account microscope, will also. But remember, you can control how you respond. You can rewrite the script. Embrace the slow, steady path. Each day you resist the urge to overtrade or fear trade, you train your brain a little differently. And someday, when that account is no longer small, you'll thank yourself for having made your mind the bigger account. A small account is dangerous not because of the money, but because of what it can psychologically turn a trader into. Process over outcomes, discipline over stimulation. Your journey is just beginning. Keep it sane, keep it steady.